of my Nebraska roots, and I'm proud to be back home. And at Midwest Bank, they're proud to be your local community bank. They believe in family first, taking initiative, showing integrity, and rolling up their sleeves to support their local communities. They treat everyone like family, no matter where you're from. Whether you walk into a branch in York, Lincoln, Norfolk, or Pierce, you know you're going to be welcomed with a smile. Your community, your bank, Midwest Bank.
At Farm Bureau Financial Services, we strive to provide you with the right coverages for all your insurance needs by taking the time to meet with you and review what coverages best fit your needs. So whether you're in the market for home, auto, farm, business, life, or a combination of any of these coverages, we can help with making sure you, your family, or your business have the right coverage based on your individual needs. If you would like to review your insurance needs, please contact Ben Spurt with Farm Bureau Financial Services at 402-217-9945 or through email at ben.spurt@fbfs.com.
The electrical workers of Local Union 265 are now hiring licensed journeyman electricians from $32.50 to $42.50 per hour with paid benefits. And if you're looking for a new career, they're hiring apprentices at $19.50 per hour with paid benefits. Call the office at 402-423-4497 to apply. Start your electrical career today.
A lot of businesses say they're family focused, but when tough situations in life arise, the business wants anything but your best interests. James Enterprise Incorporated is hiring, and they will always treat their employees like family, just as they do their customers. James Enterprise Incorporated is hiring Class A and B CDL drivers, a shop tech, and a diesel mechanic. If you're looking for a career with a company that goes above and beyond to value you and your family, apply today at jamesenterpriseinc.com or call 402-432-6740. If you're in Seward or Milford, listen up. Select Plumbing is now servicing your area with no trip charges from Lincoln. Select Plumbing works on a variety of issues for your home and business, including general plumbing, water heaters, faucet fixture repair, underground sewer and water repairs, backflow testing, and more. Keep your property free from leaks and other issues. Call today for a free estimate at 402-560-6197. It's not just Lincoln, Waverly, and the surrounding area anymore. It's also Seward and Milford with no trip charges. Contact Select Plumbing to inquire at 402-560-6197.
What's better than supporting your favorite radio station and eating delicious Nebraska-made products? Smoking Gun Jerky of Nebraska wants to highlight you, the listener, on the 93.7 The Ticket Wall of Fame at the store. Stop by the store at 48th and R in Lincoln and see their huge variety of small batch gourmet jerky. Or if you're not in the area and want to try some, go to smokinggunjerky.com and enter code EARLY for 10% off your purchase. It's the ultimate low-calorie, high-protein snack at Smoking Gun Jerky of Nebraska.
This is Bigger Than the Score with Peter Ferguson on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right, welcome in to Bigger Than the Score. Harrison Arns on the ones and twos, as always. If you guys want to join in, you can feel free to use the Start Hammond text line, 402-464-5685. You can put a face to the voice, Facebook, YouTube, X, Allo, Channel 961 if you got Allo Cable. And if you are using these streams, you probably notice one of the faces is different on here. We are not joined by Pete Ferguson, but instead we got another host joining me today, taking over at least for this Sunday. Floor is yours. Mike, I'll let you introduce yourself here.
Awesome. Thanks for having us. I'm Mike Smith from the Bay, and I got my Bay crew here with me today. Taking over for Pete. Pete couldn't, he's on an airplane today. He's headed I think Chicago is where he said he was going. But we're excited to be here, excited to share some of the good stuff we got cooking at the Bay. I brought a group of young scholars and also some of our staff with us here to share their story and their experience. But if you're listening for the first time and you're not sure what the Bay is, I will give everybody a quick rundown kind of on what we are and the work that we do. And so the Bay started in 2010 in the mall. And we've got some folks in here who did skate school at the mall. They were a part of that in the early days. And so the Bay started really as just an indoor skate park here in Lincoln, a place for kids to go do the things that they love. In the early days, we always said kids need three things. They need somewhere to go, something to do, and people who care. And so that was really kind of the thing that kicked the Bay off. But the cool part about kind of our journey at the Bay is we have always done a really good job of centering the youth experience and listening to the kids. And so when the Bay opened in the mall, part of the problem was we couldn't be open late enough. We had to kind of close when the mall closed. And so we knew we needed to be open later. So we moved out of the mall into a warehouse on Y Street. And that's a place that was able to open late at night to like 10:30, 11 o'clock at night. But as true skateboarders in skateboard fashion, the kids started skipping school to come to the Bay. The facilities got so good that they decided that was what they wanted to do with their time. And so one day driving a kid back home from, he'd skipped and I was driving him back to school. He said, oh, they go to school at the zoo. Why can't we go to school at the Bay? And I didn't know what focus programs were. I didn't know that was how Lincoln Public Schools created focus programs. And so in 2021, we opened up Bay High. And so it's a partnership with Lincoln Public Schools. So we have a high school at the Bay now that functions down there, junior, senior only. Johnny can talk a little bit about that in a little bit. But so yeah, there's a full-blown high school down there with LPS that kids are taking classes. People are doing the real thing. We got real principal, real real relationships with the district. It's awesome. And when we announced we were opening Bay High, I had a conversation with a first-gen skate kid, and he said, skateboarding was great, but I needed to learn more skills. And he was like, if you're really going to change kids' lives down there, you got to teach them real skills. And so we opened up a program called Gap Year at the Bay for 18 to 24-year-olds who are looking for like a college alternative. Maybe college isn't the right fit for your kid, or they tried it out and it didn't land. And so the Bay opened up a program called Gap Year, and we're able to work with a lot of young people through that program as well. And then we just kept scaling. Kids in Omaha said we want one too. We're growing into Omaha currently, so we're programming in the Benson Community Center now, and we're moving on to a much larger facility in a couple of years. And so our kind of key pillars down there are skateboarding was the thing that everybody knows us for,
right.
But music and fashion and content creation are other programs that we spend a lot of time focusing on. And so we've got experts in here to talk about some of those things. But yeah, the Bay's been around for 15 years. We feel like we can count about 15,000 kids that have come through our doors since we first started.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
I want to ask you, and then we'll get to hear from obviously some of these scholars here as well. But for you, like, where did you kind of end up on this road? Like, obviously your hobbies are in skateboarding, but then you get to this point to where Bay High's becoming, like, at what point did this become a serious goal for you?
I think I was a social worker when I first started the Bay. And so I had worked with youth at about every possible way you could imagine, from summer camps, after school programs, inner city programs. I'd worked at basketball coach. Like, I had done a lot of things that were really youth focused. And I feel like when I was a social worker, I saw how often kids would get in trouble for the silliest things. I was like the judge of teen court. So I listened to kids at that, like, oh, I got something on my record, I need it taken off my record. So I would hear all of these issues. And I realized very quickly that Lincoln kids are not great at crime. And that is not something that they do well. And I was like, that we don't have a crime problem here. We have a boredom problem. And that was something I got really passionate to solve. And I talk a lot about that, not the difference between following your passion and following a problem that you get really excited to solve. Helping young people do the thing that they love and giving young people a positive path. That's a problem that I thought I can do something there. And so for me, it really was about, I say this all the time, like, I work for the kids. And it's kind of been my sort of North Star since I started the Bay was I'm going to listen to them. And when they say, hey, we need this, it's my job to sort of act accordingly. That's how every business really works. You listen to your customer. And when they come calling for something, you try to provide that. And so the more that I would hear consistently, oh, we need this, or, oh, we want that, I got really passionate about, okay, I gotta be that champion for young people that can go out and create these things for them. And so I would say as their needs have evolved and as they've seen the place, the Bay, and said, hey, we can do more with this space, we want to do this, my job was to really make those things possible. And I think, they'll hear young people a lot get told you can't, or no, or this isn't possible, right, or we're not going to do this. And so the beauty of the Bay is it's always been a place that has listened to the young people and said, hey, let's find a way. Like, let's find a way to do it. And so I grew up in Imperial, Nebraska, and skateboarding, music, and fashion. I love Imperial, but I don't think that those things were booming out of Western Nebraska necessarily. But for me, it really was about youth and youth culture and giving them a place to uniquely take these things. And so I can say without question, these two, Wulu and Trayson sitting here have been as influential in my life as I hope I have been in theirs. But like, I've learned a lot from them, and I've seen a lot about youth culture by watching their journeys. And so for me, it really is just being a youth advocate and knowing that you need a place where those things can happen. And I think that's what's so special about the Bay. Yeah,
I think you kill, especially the part in the Midwest. Like, I'm from Northeast Nebraska myself. It's like easiest way for kids to get in trouble is like be in a spot where there's not a whole lot to do.
Exactly.
And then you'll find your own fun. And sometimes that own fun you create isn't always the best. We still got about 10 minutes here on this first segment. So with that being said, Mike, I'll let you just kind of go around and introduce everybody we got in the studio today.
Absolutely. And I'll let them introduce themselves. But we have a very special group of people here today. We have everything from staff to scholars to, people who've grown up at the Bay literally and are growing up at the Bay currently. And so, it's a very fun Bay crew that we've got down here today, but I'll kick it over to, they call themselves the Bowie Boys. Maybe you know them on the socials, on the TikTok and all those things, but I'll kick it over to Wooloo, let him introduce himself, and then we'll just go around. Go ahead, bud.
What's up, guys? I'm Wooloo Gotlock, part of the Bowie Boys. And then we have
I'm
my guy here, right here.
I'm Trayson Russell, the other half of the Bowie Boys. I've been skateboarding my whole life. Pretty much grew up at the Bay, so I'm hyped to be here.
Yeah, I'm Mello. Just been chilling at the Bay. And yep.
My name is Johnny Gotlock, and I do about the same stuff Wooloo and Trayson do.
Yep. So, we'll start first with Wooloo and Trayson. You guys, you've grown up at the Bay. It's been a part of your journey and your story, but just explain maybe how the Bay sort of started, intersected your friendship. You guys met there, like that whole thing. Just kind of catch everybody up on like, where did the Bowie Boys start from? Kind of how did that whole journey begin?
Man.
Crazy story.
Yeah, it really started like I was like 12 years old and I had never skated before, and I went down to the Bay for the first time, and I never seen anything like it. I lived up the street for about like a year before I found the Bay, and then when I went down there for the first time and got my waiver filled out, I fell in love with skateboarding. It was like a whole different switch. After that day, after that first time on a skateboard, I just never went back. Every single day after school, I'm at the Bay. Like it got to a point where because I took the city bus to school every day, it got to a point where the city bus driver knew I always went to the Bay, so they would drop me off in front of the Bay so I can go there straight after school.
I think you stopped there so much they just put a permanent stop there. Now that's just the Bay stop. I'm almost sure it is. It really is. Yeah.
Yeah, it is now. But yeah, ever since then I went there. I was at the Bay probably almost every single day for about 6 years. Like every single day I was at the Bay. There wasn't a day that I couldn't count that I wasn't there. And with that, I met Trayson there. I think the first time I was going to the Bay, he didn't know how to say my name. My name's Wooloo, but I think he was calling me like Hulu or something.
Hulu, bro.
Yeah. So for the longest time, he didn't know how to say my name. But just going there, it was just like a connection. It started like building a family for me. So that's where we met, and that's where we've been friends ever since.
Yeah, and for you, it was earlier than that because your dad,
Dude, I almost don't even remember it at this point, dude. I had to have been like 5 or 6, and my dad was taking me down. I remember like building the original Bayo 98 in the mall, and it was like, I was so stoked on it, dude. And like ever since then, I just like fell in love with the community and like everything the Bay's doing. And back then, it was like mainly just like skateboarding and skate for change, and like to see where the Bay has gone from there is just crazy in this like fashion and music and everything. But yeah, I met Wooloo. I was actually volunteering as a skate school, which we do on Saturdays, and I had to have been like probably like 10 or 11. I met him, and then just we're at the Bay every day filming videos. I went to Instagram, and then I went to TikTok later on, and then I went to YouTube videos, and now we're here.
And you guys you've had a special trajectory because you grew up at the Bay.
Yeah.
And then I would say you were some of the youth that we really listened to, and so you've created things that are now institutional programs. And so talk a little bit about like Art and Thrift and how that was a launch pad for you, and just like that whole early stage Bowie Boys.
So this was at the time we were working at Goodwill. We would work at Goodwill, and then we would like collect clothes from there. Like we would like to thrift. So like we didn't have the most money, so we'd go to like Goodwill every weekend, go shop for some clothes. And after like looking around the room and seeing our clothes piled up, we were like, we need to start selling these clothes.
Mm-hmm.
What can we do to sell them? We started going to Plato's and selling them at Plato's. That didn't work. We still had a bunch of clothes. So we went to Mike and asked him if we could start something called Pop-Up Thrift, which later on ended up being Art and Thrift now. It was a pop-up thrift. We'd go to the Bay once a month with all our clothes, and we knew a bunch of other people that sold clothes, so we'd invite them there. And then we had like a monthly event called Pop-Up Thrift where a bunch of people would come in, have a bunch of vendors, and sell their clothes or whatever they have there. And today is called Art and Thrift, where they do the same thing.
Yeah. And it's crazy because we were probably like 15 or 16 and we had the idea, and we came to Mike with it, and he was like, just do it, like let's give it a shot. And so that's what's so cool about the Bay though, is like these kids can have like dope ideas and like we can make it happen.
Yep. And I think that's the whole, when you talk about a true third place for kids, you've got like, there's school, then there's like home, but this third place, this other place you can go. And one of the kind of key factors in it is you have to let youth run the show. Like if adults are saying, this is what you have to do, this is the program, like you have to, I call it the sit and get. Like if it's all about that, it loses its authenticity and it loses that organicness. You came every day for years, not because of a program or necessarily one person. It was because you wanted to be at the Bay. And that was the same for you. It was like you just wanted to be there.
Right.
And because it became your place, you know? And so, and that's what's so great. And saying yes to youth ideas is the way that we keep things moving. And so, well, let's keep going. Mello, tell them a little bit about how you got to the Bay, how long you've been there, what you do there every day.
I think the first time I was there, I was like 10, and my friend Boogie, he showed me it, and then I pulled up, started skating, and same thing happened. Like them, just pulled up for the every day.
Yep. And now who taught you to skate?
Just my friends, and
Yep.
And I didn't go to skate school until like I was already good.
Nice.
And I was like, so I just started pulling up every day.
And it became a part of what you do.
Yep.
Awesome. And you're growing up there, but I think the person who we can all definitively say literally has grown up there he started as little Johnny, but he doesn't like that anymore. So now he's big Johnny. But Johnny, maybe tell him your story and kind of like your journey through the Bay.
When Wula discovered the Bay, they kept going every day, and I was wondering where these kids keep going every day after school. And I never discovered it yet until my sister was bored one day, so she took me. And then after that, I started loving the Bay, going there every day, board helmet, skate, go to skate school. Didn't even like do the trial or anything. I just go to skate school from 9 a.m. to like the Bay closed at 12 a.m. when I used to go there. So like full shift. Like I was full time.
Whole day.
I was full time at the Bay.
Oh yeah. I remember like I'd be closing up and like shutting lights off, and I'd look over and see him sleeping in like like on a bench in the coffee shop, and we'd have to get you to go get him home. But truly, how old were you when you first started coming to the Bay?
I think about like 6.
6, yeah. And how old are you now?
I'm like 17, about to turn 18 in June.
Awesome. Yep. And so, go ahead.
So, yeah, we gotta go to a break here real quick. Just out of curiosity, how many people are we talking about in a day at the Bay?
We do after school programs, so
Right.
we'll bus kids in. And so you could have 30, 40 kids get dropped off in vans that come from 3 to 5. But we've also got Bay High happening during the day, which is another, 50 to 100 kids are possible there. Our gap year program services about 30 kids during the day. So in any given day, you'd have, 50 on a low end, a couple hundred on a high end coming through. And then when we do these Friday night activations like Art and Thrift or our Live at the Bay concert series, it brings out so many other kids and is such a hub for other people. And so anywhere from a very small crew of 15, 20 up to a couple hundred people.
Has that been like pretty steady, just growing year over year? Or what's it
Oh,
been
absolutely.
like?
We're so out of space. Like I remember the first day we signed the lease down there, and our board of directors asked me, is the Bay too big? Like, are you sure this isn't too big? And we've had to move our offices out because our programming space took over. And so we're officing down the street. Our programs have so much capacity to grow because the community wants more, but we're truly out of space. And so I think a big part of it is we're doing the stuff that kids want to do. Like it's the activities and the things that they get really excited about. And so we're not forcing any kids to be there necessarily. Like they're choosing to show up. And I think that's kind of the power of what we're doing.
Yeah, as we just heard from the forecast that you brought in with you today. Don't go anywhere, though. We got to go to our first break here. Bigger Than the Score with Mike taking over as the co-host today. Appreciate you guys listening. We'll talk to you in a little bit.
The electrical workers of Local Union 265 are now hiring licensed journeyman electricians from $32.50 to $42.50 per hour with paid benefits. And if you're looking for a new career, they're hiring apprentices at $19.50 per hour with paid benefits. Call the office at 402-423-4497 to apply. Start your electrical career today.
Get ready for spring by joining an evidence-based program to improve your health and well-being. These programs use proven strategies to help you make lasting changes, whether it's boosting nutrition, increasing activity, managing stress, or enhancing wellness. Invest in yourself today and feel your best this spring and beyond. Paid for by the Nebraska Department of Health and Human Services. Aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
John Henry's has a brand new membership club to protect your entire home in one program. With a VIP and a deluxe option, we will help you find the plan that best fits your needs. Receive discounts on services and equipment, priority service, complimentary inspections, and so much more. Protect your home's plumbing, heating, cooling, and electrical systems all in one membership. Call John Henry's to learn more.
435-5555. John Henry's Plumbing, Heating and Air.
And electrical.
Get ready for spring by joining an evidence-based program to improve your health and well-being. These programs use proven strategies to help you make lasting changes, whether it's boosting nutrition, increasing activity, managing stress, or enhancing wellness. Invest in yourself today and feel your best this spring and beyond. Paid for by the Nebraska Department of Health and Human Services. Aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
With UBT, you've got total control over your money. Like Doug, who runs his game day tailgate like a well-oiled machine.
I got burgers, brats, chicken, dogs, plus all the fixins. And with the UBT Go app, I can track my food spending from anywhere.
Pro move.
They don't call me Grill Sergeant for nothing.
No matter your goals, UBT helps you feel good about reaching them. Union Bank and Trust. Member FDIC.
When you're high, you feel different. You think different, you talk different, you draw different, you listen to music different, but you probably knew that. Problem is, you also drive different, and not in a good way. That's why driving high is illegal everywhere. So if you're high, just don't drive. Make a plan to get a sober ride. Because if you feel different, you drive different. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Did you know that AmeriCorps programs improve lives, strengthen communities, and foster civic engagement in Nebraska? For example, members serving with AmeriCorps programs like Partnership for Kids provide kids with the support they need to succeed in school and prepare for their dream career. Discover more about AmeriCorps programs making a difference in your community at serve.nebraska.gov. Paid for by Serve Nebraska, aired by the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Okay, kids, Dad's gonna teach you how to dance. First, spread your feet apart. Then, pump your knee, nod your head, shake your hips, and bite your lip ever so slightly. Now, with one hand in the air, point at people with the other hand. I call that the rock star.
Dance like a dad. It's a great way to make a moment with your kids.
Now, make a face like it just smells something bad.
Visit fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
This is your captain. We are going to be experiencing some slight turbulence. Please fasten your... Oh, hold on. Just got a video of my cat.
Imagine the pilot of an airplane was as confident as you are texting and driving. Seems kind of crazy when you put it like that.
Visit StopTextStopWrecks.org. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
Nebraska Veterans Aid is here for veterans and dependents facing unforeseen financial emergencies. Get assistance with food, fuel, shelter, clothing, transportation, and even funeral and medical expenses. If you're a veteran facing a financial emergency, apply for Nebraska Veterans Aid through your county veteran service officer. Learn more at veterans.nebraska.gov/NVA. Sponsored by the Nebraska Department of Veterans Affairs, aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
In every office, there's two types of people. There are those who bring in bagels and those who eat the bagels that someone else brought in. Everybody likes the first person. Be that first person. Weekday mornings at 7:30, you have a chance to win a business box of bagels from Bagels & Joe. All you have to do is shut up, Sipple. 2 questions for you, 2 for Sip. Win, and the bagels are yours. Lose, well, you don't want to lose.
You lost Monday, you lost Wednesday, you're a loser.
Shut up, Sipple. Weekday mornings at 7:30, brought to you by Bagels & Joe.
Back to Bigger Than the Score with Peter Ferguson on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right, welcome back in. Bigger Than the Score. Harrison runs on the ones and twos as always. Come Sundays, we got Mike taking over as the host with Pete's absence today. And if you guys want to join in, as always, 402-464-5685, as well as the streams, YouTube, Facebook, X, and Allen Channel 961. We got a few people talking. We got some good mornings. We got Bonnie saying supporting the boy from New Jersey. And then we got Way saying Mike Smith is a very big inspiration in my life as well. So appreciate you guys can continue to chime in as the show goes on. But with that being said, I think segment 2 here, we're going to learn a little bit more individually about some of the scholars we got in here today. So with that being said, Mike, floor is yours.
Yeah, I think one of the things that we're the most excited about at the Bay is that we were able to create Bay High, partnership with Lincoln Public Schools. In a day and age where everybody's innovation's happening fast, change is coming quickly. There's so many new things on the table. Having a place like Bay High in our, school choice opportunities in Lincoln Public Schools is a really cool thing. And so one of the things I'm most proud of is some of our core kids have gotten to go there. We just missed it with the Bowie Boys, so they weren't able to attend, but Johnny was able to be at Bay High this last year. And so will you share a little bit about just like what you did, what Bay High was, some of the stuff you learned? I know you graduated early because you're so smart, and so we'll get that out of the way quickly, but maybe just share a little bit about your Bay High experience, Johnny.
Bay High is pretty good. They don't make you feel too nerdy. They don't make you feel too dumb. They just make you feel like you're in the right place. So when I went there, it's so fun. Got experience building a ramp. Got experience to run our own skate competition, which I won, by the way.
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah. So when you go there, cool teachers. They're still like in the making of it, like still developing stuff. But for the second year, it's pretty good and awesome. And I had a very fun time there. Learned a lot of new skills and stuff.
Awesome. So the goal for us wasn't just sitting like a regular classroom. It was like hands-on things. And so talk about like, you got to throw a skate contest. I know you won it, by the way. He was also the judge. So it's all, the whole thing's a little sus, but tell us just about creating that contest and what that was like.
So there's like a lot of stuff to it. So months of like learning how to do it and connect with different teams and get a lot of product out. So we had to go to like Precision and stuff, which you guys know about on O Street. We had to talk to the owner there. He sent us out some emails, helped us get and talk with brands and stuff like DGK and stuff. So they're able to like send us a lot of stuff to go for the event. And it was honestly pretty good. Did like 12 feet ollies and stuff on kicker to kicker. Had little kids, had adults. Everybody was there. Everybody's having a fun time. And there's like food, art, music, everything.
Awesome. So as a kid, you got to participate in those for a long time.
Yeah.
And it probably felt like they just happened. Like
Yeah.
you just showed up one day and there was this really cool event. It gives you a different perspective seeing it on the planning side. What do you think you learned the most?
Learned the most that you gotta be good with your time. Like we were like so close to like cutting it to like getting product and stuff. And it was like so close, like really close.
You learned about procrastinating.
Yes.
Yeah. It stresses you out. Doesn't always make things
Yeah.
easier. Yep. I totally understand that. Totally get that. Well, so if you're a student out there and Bay High is something that you're interested in, it's junior, senior only. We focus a lot on, it's a place for the creatives, a place for kids who are really trying to find their way. They're looking for a different learning environment. And we really, truly try to make it as project-based learning as we can so that you can throw things like a skate contest or a festival and really chase kind of your individual passions. But I want to pivot over to the Bowie Boys real quick. You guys, you have such a fun story because you grew up at the Bay, you work there now, you're the inspiration for the kids. I remember having a conversation with your dad, Trayson, when we were building the Bay and the mall. And he was like, what are you trying to do with this? And I said, I'm really looking forward to the day where kids don't come in and say, Mike, 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 Mike. They come in and they're looking for a different staff person. And now when I walk in, kids aren't going, where's Mike? Where's Mike? They're going, where's Woo? Where's Trayson? Like they're looking for you guys.
Yeah.
And so you guys have really come full circle in that journey. And we talk a lot about that at the Bay is they're going to take our jobs and they're replacing our staff and they're not far. They're really not far. Woo's coming for mine. I can see it every day.
I am.
Yep. I can
am.
see it. I
And
feel it.
Pray for it every single day.
Yep. I feel it. But maybe just give a little bit about your, like, kind of how the journey started. You guys, you took your own risks. You guys shot your own shots. You're doing your own things. You got your own businesses on the side, but maybe just explain kind of like how you use the Bay as a thing to launch what you're doing, the experiences you've had, the places you've gone, and just kind of how you got into this place of being full circle Bay employees.
Yeah, well, I mean, we started out like we were saying earlier, man. We met at the Bay, and we were kids, so we were just skating every day. Like didn't miss a day, like he was saying. We were there every single day from open to close, like taking the bus from school, all that. And we used to make like skateboard videos there, and that was always like such a big thing that like the older dudes that were working there would like push on us, like, oh, you got to film that, you got to make the edits. That's like what I'm trying to do with these guys now that we're in that position. But yeah, we had a bunch of people at the Bay just always pushing us to like make content and like just create stuff, even if it was for no reason. Like those videos didn't really go anywhere back in the day, but we just made them just because it was fun. But yeah, that led to like eventually we got into like TikTok, and then Wulu started blowing up on there, and then we we posted those videos on the YouTube, and then it went from there, and then just videos and content.
So talk about like where's the Bowie Boys now? Like numbers wise, views wise, like those things. Like you've grown a really impressive brand, is what you guys have done.
Yeah, so I think we're at like 160,000 on YouTube, which is we're trying to hit that 200K.
Yep.
And then Wulu over here got big on TikTok.
Yeah, I'm currently at 1.6 million on TikTok now. But that started like in 2019 I had my first TikTok account. It was for fun. It was just like a joke, right? And I just wanted to see how far I can make it on there as just messing around on TikTok. Happened to get like 65,000 followers, and then that account went somewhere else. I don't know where it went, but it got banned. It got banned. So I stopped doing TikTok for a little bit, and then maybe a month after I recreated my TikTok as myself, just like my personal brand. And within a year, I got 1 million followers on that account, and which is my current account now at Just Wulu. But with that led to a lot of opportunities, because like in Nebraska, it's like you have to make your own opportunities here. It's not really like you walk around and somebody just gives you an opportunity. You have to kind of create your own opportunities. So with growing a following here, I was able to get a bunch of brand deals. So I worked with Montclair. The thing is, like, Montclair was like my first biggest brand, and I don't have money like that, so I didn't know what Montclair was.
Right.
So like Montclair reached out to me, and it was on an Instagram DM, and I go out to Trace, and it's a verified account. So So I'm like, hey, some brand just hit me up. It's called Montclair. And they're like, Montclair. He said Montclair.
Like, bro, what?
That's a big brand. I'm over here just like, yeah, it's cool. It's like they have a check.
Yep.
But so they reached out to me. They sent me some product, and after that, it's just like Liquid Death. Before Liquid Death is like, they're $1 billion company now. But before then, it was just like, it was a smaller company. So I was tuned in with them before they blew up. I'm currently working with Red Bull right now, where they're sending me, Trayson, and Johnny out to events, to some of their events, and we're out there like doing stuff that we've never done before.
Where'd they recently send you guys?
The last place they sent us was, I think, Minnesota.
Yeah, Minneapolis.
Yeah. So they sent us out there for like a snowboarding event. So it's not only skateboarding events that they're sending us out to. They want us to have the full experience about like with everything. So we went out to a snowboarding event, got the little VIP experience, and it was fun out there.
Next month we're doing like the little like makeshift go-karts with Red Bull.
Yeah, soapbox. So
stay tuned for that.
Some soapbox. Yeah, very cool. Very cool.
I'm actually going. Yeah, I'm going to Aspen next month as well, for a snowboarding trip with them.
Awesome.
So
and you guys, you shot your shot. You did you left Nebraska and kind of shot your shot. Yeah, explain that story. I think that's it's a very real story, because most folks from Nebraska think I have to leave Nebraska to go be successful. And I've got to go somewhere else to blow up and do my thing. But you guys are kind of proving the opposite every day. But explain your journey, because you guys kind of went through that same mindset.
Yeah, so we were, I guess, like when we were in high school, and I think this was when like TikTok was like really big, and like it was still new and like fresh, and like we started blowing up on there, and then we went to YouTube, and that was right at the time where I was graduating. Wulu was kind of doing like the college thing, and like we're like, all right, this is it, like this is it's over, bro. We gotta do something now, like I'm 18 now, I gotta do something. So we as soon as I graduated, we went straight for LA. We just drove out there. We packed the car with everything we own, no money, and just like drove out there. And like, but it was a great experience. We were out there for like 6 months, but it was hard. And the thing that we were doing so good on our videos was we had the community and the characters like in our video, where it's like they watch it and they're like, oh, that's Johnny. Like we know Johnny. We see him in all the videos. And like the community that we had at the Bay, we were lacking out in like LA. So that's kind of why we got the call from Mike Smith 6 months later. He was like, hey, we're doing this new thing. The Gap Year was coming out too. So that was another reason. But yeah, we came back to Lincoln, and we got our squad back and our characters. And I think that's what people really want to watch, in our videos.
They like that it's different.
Yeah.
Right.
Everybody's seen the LA video.
Right, yeah,
Everybody's seen
yeah.
influencers meet up with influencers and go to Santa Monica and
Yeah.
film
Yeah.
the same thing. But you guys were bringing something truly unique. And it was the experiences you had at the Bay, but it was also Nebraska. Like,
Right.
Yeah.
people hadn't seen it.
Right.
People didn't know it. And you guys were exposing them to a whole new culture.
Yeah, I
which
remember
think-
being out in LA and like we were telling our story, like, yeah, we're from Nebraska, and they just looked at us crazy.
Yeah, and that what made us different. For sure.
Right,
Yeah.
right. Like, oh, listen to
Nebraska boys.
kids.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
But it's a differentiator, right? Like, you guys were able to change and elevate your story. And that's why I feel so cool about Bay High is you get to forever, you're going to get to say, oh, I graduated from high school at this place that did this thing. And it's so different from our small town high schools, or if you went to a regular high school, you always just say, oh, I went to this high school, and everybody else says the same thing. But if you've got something like the Bay, it immediately kind of accelerates you, which I think is so cool for their personal journey.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I want to ask you guys in particular both, like, because you see, like, especially with youth, a lot of people, content creation, the media, kind of like work, job style. What's the most important thing you learn, like, to make that an actual reality, like, keep this thing going and make it
Consistency.
sustainable?
Consistency is you gotta stay posting, just and being yourself. Like,
Yeah, honestly, be authentic.
yeah.
Because that's what people really catch from you. Like you'll have something that they recognize you for. So that's what you kind of need to throw out there. Just be authentic and really just do it your way.
Mm-hmm.
And I think one of the coolest things about their content story is they teach their own content creation camp at the Bay now.
We do.
And so
We do,
it's sold out.
Yeah.
Waiting
Yeah.
that, like, they're literally running a camp now, showing people how to do the thing. And those are the messages that you're preaching and the experiences
Yeah,
that you're
dude.
giving them. And so it's a very cool full circle moment where they're not just doing it, they're like passing that information on down to the next group of creators.
Which is fantastic. Nebraska, you know, you want to keep the great people in, or, you know, get
Absolutely.
some more great people coming up through the ranks. So outside of that, I want to hear a few more things before we go to our final break here. Just, you know, your first thoughts, you know, when it came to the Bay. We can ask everybody around this, and then just kind of on the way out the door, what you guys are, what the Bay means now.
My first thoughts when I went to the Bay, it's like this is home. So
Yeah.
like if you have a timesheet, I think it levels out from being home and being at the Bay. I think it's like it's neck and neck. I might have been at the Bay more than I've been at home. So so yeah, that's like, you know, I got my first key to the Bay when I was 15 years old. I don't think I was supposed to have a key, but I had it. I was volunteering at the Bay when I was 15 years old. Then when I turned 17 years old, I started making coffee at the Bay when we had the coffee shop.
Yep.
And then after that, I started working at the skate park where, you know, that's where I grew up. So like, you know, I've been at Bay. I've been at the Bay for a very long time now, and I don't plan on leaving anytime soon. I actually plan on taking over the Bay. So
I'm telling you, he's coming for my job.
Yeah,
Can't wait.
So I'll be running that soon. So yeah, but I plan on making a lot of opportunities for kids just like me down the line.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah. Basically, what he was saying, it's been a very long journey for us at the Bay, and it's been awesome. And I think the biggest thing is like giving these dudes like the same like childhood that we had coming up, where it's like, you know, we're getting pushed to make stuff, and like it's like nothing we don't want to do. It's like everything's like fun, and yeah, part of the community, I'd say.
Go ahead, Mello. Get up to that microphone there. There you go.
So, what were we talking about?
Yeah, it's just, what do you think about the Bay? Yeah, kind of what does the Bay mean to you, I guess?
I think the Bay is like another place to go, except for home and stuff, and make new friends and family, and I don't know.
Yeah.
The first time I went, I met a whole bunch of people. I met my friend Armani, Boogie, and my brother. He told me he was the first person that told me about the Bay. I didn't know nothing about the Bay. And then he showed me videos of them, and I was like, dang, I need to go to the Bay. First time I went, I was doing a whole bunch of stuff. I learned how to drop in, how to do a whole bunch of tricks, and yeah, that's basically it.
Love it.
Yeah, so I went to the Bay, and I could just lock the door and stay there because I slept there, skated there, won competitions there, went to school there, and now I work there. So I just did everything there, and Now I have pro skaters following me on Instagram and like phone numbers and stuff just because I skated at the Bay. Like it actually gets you connections from just going every day and learning a lot of new stuff, being around certain people, and just like wanting to live life.
Love it.
That's incredible. Pretty good set of endorsements right there. We got to throw to break one more time here, though. This one from Blitzcraig off YouTube, though. He says, the Bay, I like this Bay better than the San Francisco Bay. So appreciate it.
We'll take that. We'll take that.
And we'll throw it to our final break here. Don't go anywhere. Bigger than the score.
Are you ready for a new opportunity? Check out Sandhills Global. Join a dynamic team where your skills are valued and your career can soar. We offer full-time positions with a 4.5-day work week, competitive pay, excellent benefits, and a positive work environment. From IT and marketing to sales and finance, we're looking for talented individuals like you. Apply today at sandhills.jobs and take the first step towards an exciting future. That's sandhills.jobs. Don't wait, apply now.
Big box stores are tempting for buying equipment for your high schooler in sports or for yourself in your sports leisures. But buying new is awfully expensive. Why not go somewhere with new and used options? Play It Again Sports has quality, slightly to gently used equipment, and 50% of their inventory is actually new equipment. And it's more than baseball, softball, and golf. They also have equipment for disc golf, fitness, hockey, and more. Plus, they're always buying products. Bring your gear you're done with and get trade money on the spot. Play It Again Sports at 48th and Vine.
Hey farmers, if you don't already, you need to get to know the guys at Boyk Farm Outfitters. If you're ready to turn your sprayer into a money-saving smart machine, they can hook you up. If you just want to get your chemicals from some good guys that care about your operations goals, they want to chat. They work with progressive growers all over eastern Nebraska to assist with equipment upgrades and input options. Boyk Farm Outfitters is equipping the modern farmer. Check them out at Boyk, B-O-E-C-K, farmoutfitters.com.
When you were a kid, clubs were cool. Robotics club and space club and stuff like that. But what do adults get? Book clubs and quilting clubs? Nah, forget that. How about margarita clubs and old-fashioned clubs? Get to Upside Bar and Lounge for the best clubs in town. Try all 10 varieties of Upside margaritas or old fashions and take home a free souvenir glass. Grab the whole crew and pair it with taco night on Mondays or whiskey Wednesdays. Upside Bar and Lounge at 29th and Pine Lake.
John Henry's has a brand new membership club to protect your entire home in one program. With a VIP and a deluxe option, we will help you find the plan that best fits your needs. Receive discounts on services and equipment, priority service, complimentary inspections, and so much more. Protect your home's plumbing, heating, cooling, and electrical systems all in one membership. Call John Henry's to learn more.
435-5555. John Henry's Plumbing, Heating and Air.
And electrical.
Unearth the secret to long-lasting tires at Tread's Central Tire Pros, a league apart in commitment, service, and expertise. This isn't just about rubber meeting the road, but trust, safety, and surety converging in perfect harmony. This is where expectations are exceeded every time. Make your appointment today at Tread Central Tire Pros, just south of Cortland on Highway 77, or visit our website to explore our services. Remember, when it comes to tires, choose Tread Central Tire Pros because we tread differently.
Rico here with HIS Auto Care at 70th and Van Dorn, letting you know HIS is a great place to bring your vehicle for service. With superior service, bumper to bumper, we'll treat your vehicle like it's your mother's. Doesn't get any better than that. So call 402-488-8934 and HIS Auto will make you glad you did. 5% off, mention this ad, and for sure your mother will be proud you called. 402-488-8934, HIS Auto Care, 70th and Van Dorn. God bless you.
Dance like a dad. It's a great way to make a moment with your kids.
First, I hold my hands out like they're on a steering wheel. Then I look over my shoulder. Next,
I put it in reverse. Beep, beep, beep. Visit fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
When opportunity knocks, you don't want to miss the call. Hamilton Business Technologies makes communication easy and efficient using customized technology, all while putting people first. Whether you're working from the office, at home, or on the go, Hamilton Business Technologies equips your business with the right tools for smooth, professional call handling. Hamilton Business Technologies. Real people, real technology solutions. Learn more at hamiltonisbusiness.com.
Did you know that AmeriCorps programs improve lives, strengthen communities, and foster civic engagement in Nebraska? For example, AmeriCorps members serving with International Council for Refugees and Immigrants help students from refugee and immigrant families overcome cultural barriers and adapt to life in Nebraska. Discover more about AmeriCorps programs making a difference in your community at serve.nebraska.gov. Paid for by Serve Nebraska. Aired by the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Perch Merch is your one-stop shop for all your printing and promotional needs in Lincoln, Nebraska. They specialize in screen printing, embroidery, vehicle wraps, window wraps, print collateral, promotional products, and signage. At Perch Merch, they are committed to delivering high-quality products and exceptional customer service. Their experienced team of designers and printing professionals will work with you every step of the way to ensure that your vision is realized. Call for a quote today at 402-217-5212 or go to perch-merch.com.
Back to Bigger Than the Score with Peter Ferguson on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right, welcome back in. This is Bigger Than the Score. We got Mike filling in for Pete, and we only got about 7 minutes left here to wrap things up on this Bigger Than the Score episode. So with that being said, the floor is yours, Mike. I'll let you wrap things up here.
Appreciate it. You know, I'm so proud of these guys and everything that they've accomplished and they're continuing to do, but I want to hear from you. What is kind of the thing that, you know, you've all done a lot, been through some stuff. What are some of the things you're most proud of that you've experienced or gone through sort of through your Bay journey?
You know, building up my social media, like it brought a bunch of kids to like start skateboarding. I see some comments on my like Instagram page, TikTok page, and they're like, you're the one who got me into skateboarding. So seeing that and like coming from skateboarding background, you know, it's kind of crazy to see that I'm the reason that a kid starts skateboarding. Even some kids that came into the Bay, like they'll be like, yo, Wulu, like you got me into skateboarding. That's why I'm here today.
Very
like,
cool.
I'm glad to see you. Happy to see you. And I always watch your stuff. So like even last week, some kids from Grand Island came into the Bay and they're like, they said, yo, like you got us into skateboarding. And I skated with them. Me and Johnny skated with them and they're just happy to see us. So we made a video with them. So I think that's just like the experience that makes me like most proud.
Very cool. Very, very cool.
Yeah, I mean that feeling is awesome when like kids come in and like, oh, we watch your videos, like can't believe I'm at the Bay. Like I was just seeing this on TikTok. That's a great feeling. I'd probably say the community like aspect of it is like the skateboarding community is already like the best community there is anyways. It's like age, race, like gender, anything. Like we're all just one community. And I think watching that like on a Lincoln level at the Bay is like so cool, and seeing like all these new faces in here and just trying to give them like the best Bay experience that I can give them is like, you know, I think that's super cool. That's probably what's most important to me.
Love it.
I think I've just grown a lot from the Bay. First time I was there, I was like scared of everything, not trying new stuff. And then when I went, I just had fun and got stronger. Wasn't so scared of everything. And yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, Bay High, I learned a lot of stuff like graphic designing, podcasting, even sewing. So the Bay is like not just skateboarding. You could do a lot of more stuff there. And it's like we go around the skate parks. Like even if I'm not with Willow and Trayson, people still know me from social media because these guys and because I got into skateboarding. So that's a lot. That's a bonus and plus.
Love it. Love it. Well, I think for me, it's just it's continuing to see. We said a long time ago, you know, kids are going to start at the Bay, they're going to work at the Bay, then they're going to take our jobs. And I really see that happening. I see, you know, our current social media interns grew up doing skate school at the Bay. And like, there's a lot of people who get to kind of experience the Bay at all different levels. And it's so much more than just skateboarding. I really think it's teaching things like confidence and resiliency, and you're bringing the community together and you're showing people what's possible. And I'll leave it with, there's this book we talk about, The Third Door. I know I've suggested it. It's a gap year book, but it basically talks about how success in life is like getting into a nightclub. And there's kind of 3 ways to get into this place. There's the regular line, and that's the regular path. You can't cheat, you can't cut, you can't pass anybody. You kind of take the steps forward. And you need people to go through the regular line. You want your doctor to go through the regular line. You don't want him to be like, I just cheated my way through this thing. Like, that's not what you want. But then there's the VIP line, and that's, you've already got access. You've already got the opportunities available to you. I always make the joke that if you were a Husker athlete in the 90s, that VIP door is open for a really long time for you. And so there's this VIP door that you can access. But then there's the third door, which is around the alley past the dumpster. You got to like knock on it. You got to kind of talk your way through and show that you can add value. And I really think the Bay is preparing young people for that third door and giving them an opportunity to figure out how they can uniquely add value. And I think that some of the most creative, talented, incredible kids in our community walk through the Bay doors every single day. And so our job is to equip them with the right means, the right equipment, the right mentors, the right programs so that they can go on to be super successful. But I'm very proud of all four of you, the different spots that you're at and the stuff that you do. And so it's a very cool thing.
Well said. And from everybody today. But I'll ask you this final thing, Mike, and then we'll go ahead and get out of here. And you can, go as long as short as you want on it. But I'll ask you, next 5 years from now, what's the goal? What's the goal for the Bay in a short kind of 5-year outlook?
Yeah, I think, we're expanding into Omaha currently. And so we're programming out of the Benson Community Center now, and we're opening up kind of a monster Bay. And so our team's doing an incredible job of preparing us on the back end for that. But I just think continuing to listen to young people and to get people in the community aware of our programs. If you've got a kid out there who's not finding their way through traditional sports, or maybe they're full of, they're different energy and they're uniquely gifted, and the Bay is something that might be a good fit for them, whether it's skateboarding or music or fashion or content creation. We really have a home for you. And then I just think our partnership with Bay High and what we're doing with Gap Year to continue to solidify those as real options for young adults in our community. And then I think the outcome from this is Lincoln just becomes, or Nebraska truly becomes a better place. Like, it becomes a place filled with more culture, more awesome opportunities, kids doing incredible things. And I think continuing to show that you don't have to move away from Nebraska to go do big things. I think you can do those things right here at home, and the Bay's home for that.
Absolutely. And I know with that, you definitely stole everybody who's listening right now in the state of Nebraska. Appreciate it. This has been bigger than the score. And again, special appreciation to Mike for joining us and all the scholars joining us today. We got The Breeze coming up next. Don't go anywhere.